Hi guys, welcome to the video. I'm Caitlin. If you don't know me, I do a lot of content on working holidays. I help people move over to Whistler, which is super exciting. This video is mainly for people who are considering coming over here but don't have any plans, or if you already are coming over here and you're a little bit concerned about this topic, then this video is also for you. I wanted to address a major question that I get all the time, which is, am I too old for a working holiday? Generally, when you think of a working holiday or gap year, that kind of thing, mainly people are thinking of very young people just out of uni, that kind of thing. However, the IEC visa is for people aged 18 to 30. Some countries is up to 35. I think Australia is one of those. I'll put some information on the screen, but obviously always check the Canadian IRCC website. You know, things changed since this video is posted, so always keep an eye out on there. It's very easy to choose your country and you can see the age limits on there, but generally it's 18 to 30 or 35 depending on your country. That's a big age range, and if you are in that age range, you can do a working holiday. I can promise you that. You are not too old. Unless you are over that age limit, then you're too old. So I'll set the scene for myself. Stefan and I were living in Adelaide. We had been working in our full-time jobs for quite a while. I was coming up 5 years, Stefan was coming up 7 years, and we had bought a house, been paying off our home loan, and we were at a stage where we really wanted to continue traveling, especially to America, but we were kind of keen to do something different rather than just going for like a 2-week holiday like we normally do. A friend of mine was organizing a working holiday and I had never really heard about it, to be honest with you. He gave me a little bit of information on the process, and then I decided to do some research for my own. And that's when I realized that it could be a really good option for us, especially because the IEC visa is an open work permit. That means that you can work as little or as much as you want. It doesn't matter. You can come over here and not work at all if that suits you. You can work part-time, you can work full-time, it doesn't matter. And that was really important to us because obviously we wanted to travel, but we wanted to keep earning money at the same time. So this was going to be a good option for us. Another reason is because obviously Canada is very close to America. It was going to be easier for us to go to festivals rather than traveling all the way from Australia and losing, 2 or 3 days traveling. We would only be traveling a few hours. So that was a really big plus for us. And then obviously the normal things for a working holiday, which is the ski season. A lot of people come over for the ski season. It's very magical. It's very different to Australia. Obviously, we don't really get much snow over there. I had never seen snow before coming. So I was really interested in just living in a new place and trying something new. So when we were deciding on the IEC visa, we were planning to stay the full 2 years. We wanted to make the most of it. However, we didn't really have any plans on what we were going to do the whole time. The original plan was we were going to go to a ski season. Oh my God. The original plan was that we were going to go to a ski town to begin with because of staff housing. So generally the only places that I know of that offer staff housing is in ski towns for winter season. So I knew that that was going to be a really good option for us to be able to get into housing easily. It was very cheap and not commit to a really long lease, because obviously coming over to Canada trying to find a rental is really hard. Obviously it's very expensive. You have to make sure that you see the place first. You usually have to commit to a certain lease, and I wasn't ready for that serious of a commitment at that point. I was like, let's just start with the staff housing and then we can see from there what the go is. I still wholeheartedly recommend that method of starting in a ski town. You don't have to stay there the whole time, or you don't have to stay in that one. You can branch out, but that's a really good starting place, mainly for the work straight away, the house straight away, and you can kind of plan your life around that to begin with. And obviously it's really fun, so that's like a big positive. So the other option coming over here is that you can try and find a job in your specialty back in Australia. So if you are, say, a teacher or whatever, you can try and get that job over here. That's definitely something that people do and an option. However, a lot of people just come over and get kind of any entry level job that they can, especially working in a ski town, and then you can go from there. It's also a good chance to do something different. For instance, with Stefan, he had just been an electrician for the last 7 years. He was keen to do something different. Obviously at the start he was not really that keen on food and beverage, but over time he found things that he was really interested in. So don't feel like, oh, I do this back home, I want to do this over here. It can be a really good kind of palate cleanser for your career and just to try something new or take a break from the thing that you did back home, because I like to think of the working holiday as, it's like, yeah, you have to work to maintain money, but it's also a chance to do something different. When you go back home to Australia or wherever you're going back to, that all that is going to be there. Your job is going to be there, that career, everything that you have back home, it is 100% going to be there when you get back. So coming to Canada is a really good time to try something new, branch out, just take a break from that, because if you're heading back to do the same job, you're going to maybe be in that job for years and years and years. Yes, you have to work here generally, but it's also a holiday and it's a chance to do something different. So definitely keep that in mind when you're trying to choose a job. In terms of Whistler, am I too old to come to Whistler, let's say? Obviously starting at 18-year-olds straight out of school, then a lot of people that are in their early 20s come over, who are maybe taking a break after uni or just taking a break in their early career or trying to decide what they want to do with their life. I would say the 18 to early 20-year-olds are the ones that make up the majority of the people that come over just for one ski season. Then from there, we have people that stay, like I said, multiple seasons in their working holidays. So a lot of people that started in my year stayed the full 2 years, some even longer, like me. Again, most of those people were young. However, there are definitely people that are older than that, say mid to late 20s and early 30s. A lot of the people that stay for multiple seasons, who are going into leadership roles and that kind of thing, are generally people, not all the time, but there are people that are older. Sorry, I don't know if I'm explaining this very well. What I'm trying to say is there are definitely people in their late 20s and early 30s that are in Whistler. I am one of them. Stephanie is one of them. A lot of our friends are in that age bracket. And also some of us were, I mean, kind of me, but you know, some people were in a different age bracket when they first came, and then they've stayed multiple years, and now they're in a different age bracket. So that's very common as well. I know some, you know, Canadians that have come over when they were like in their early 20s and now they're in their 30s. So in terms of the people that are coming for just one season, yes, the majority of those are younger. However, in the town itself and in any job that you do, there are people that are definitely older. There are people that stay in Whistler year round. There are people that have lived here for like multiple years. There are some managers that have literally been in Whistler their whole life. So you will get a range of people depending on where you work and what you kind of get up to. So don't feel like if you are in your late 20s or early 30s that coming over here, you're going to be the odd one out. You're not going to be the odd one out. Trust me, you will be fine. Another thing that I find the mountain does really well, especially for housing, is they group people in similar age brackets. So say you are in your late 20s, most of the time, if you're in staff housing, they're going to group you with people that are similar age. So already you'll have a group of people that are similar age, similar mindset, that kind of thing. So you already know you'll have a little bit of a base like that. In saying that though, I personally find that age doesn't really factor in too much in Whistler. In some scenarios, I guess, but a lot of the time, especially day to day, I don't think age matters, especially not for your work relationships, your friendships, general like day-to-day life. Age doesn't impact things too much. When you meet everyone, age is not a question that usually comes up straight away. It maybe later on, but you know, when you're here excited, having fun, you're just here. How do I say this? To me, it feels like when you come over to Whistler or come over to Canada, people are seeing you for who you are right in that moment. You can be like anyone you want to be. Do you know what I mean? People don't know who you have been. They are only judging you for who you are right now. It comes down to your personality. It comes down to your maturity, I guess. You know, some people look 20 and they're older. Some people seem older and they're like 19. And when you are in a different sort of environment, coming from different places in the world, different experiences, different everything, basically, age is not really as important. Like, for instance, if you're making friends with someone and you have similar interests and you're snowboarding together or whatever it is, working together, you know, whether that person is 19 or 27 is not really going to impact your friendship, if that makes sense. Obviously, there is that stigma of like young people are immature and silly I guess there is a little bit of that over here, but at the same time, a lot of the people that have come over for a working holiday are people that are clearly switched on enough to move to another country. Do you know what I mean? They have saved a lot of money. They've done something really brave. They've come over on their own, like very independent, very courageous, smart, obviously, to be able to do all that on their own. So if you already have all those factors of a person, you know, even if they are young, they're clearly switched on enough to have like a level head, if that makes sense. So say that you're an older person and you are considering whether to come or not. Number one, if age is the only thing that's holding back, if you're like, yeah, I really want to do this, I'm really excited, but I don't want to be like the old person over there, something like that. Please do not let that stop you. Please do it anyway. If that's the only thing that's holding you back, that's so silly, trust me. I mean, it's different if you're older and you're acting really immature. That's the only time that it's like, hey, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? But if you're coming here to travel and make the most of your life, go for it. Definitely do it. I think another thing that's important to note is if you are in your like mid to late 20s compared to like your early 20s or younger, I think you guys will actually be able to make more out of the experience than younger people, mainly because you probably have a stronger mindset. You probably know what you want. You're less about like experimenting and more about like, hey, this is a thing that I really love to do and I want to continue doing that. You may have traveled before, so that part is like not as scary. If you're in your late 20s, you probably already know how to look after yourself, how to cook, clean, that kind of thing. That's really important for traveling, I would say. And then I think another thing is people in their late 20s have most of the time are better at setting boundaries for themselves. So that's another really important thing over in Whistler. Because of the environment, the party environment, it's very easy to slip out of control. I think people that have better boundaries for themselves are able to handle that environment a little bit better. So if anything, if you're older, you're actually probably going to have a better experience than people that are younger. I think another thing that's really cool for people that are in their, say, mid to late 20s or even early 30s is generally you've already got things kind of going for you back home, if that makes sense. You know, me and Stefan already have a house. You already have things that's set up and good to go, and then you're taking like a break from that. I think when you're in your early 20s, maybe like a lot of people have just lived at home, they don't have a house, they don't have a lot of things. Sometimes when you do that when you're younger, you're kind of like pushing things back and trying to and kind of putting yourself behind, I guess, in a way. Whereas people who have things already set up and going for themselves, it's like, okay, life is good, this is good, and then now I'm like doing something cooler. That's how I kind of think of it. I will say, if you're a person that has an investment property back home and it's paying itself like through rent and you feel comfortable that it can handle itself, I think that's a perfect time. Also, if you're keen to travel, a working holiday is a great opportunity for that. There's no commitment with the working holiday. You can always come back. You don't have to stay the 2 years. You can come and go as you please as well. So it's a good option for people who are keen to do some more traveling and then still have the investment property back home. That's like a huge win, I would say. So yeah, if you are in your mid to late 20s, if you're in your early 30s and you really want to travel more, you really want to make the most of your youth, then I would highly recommend a working holiday. Like I said, there's no huge commitments. You can say 6 months. You could come over for a month and be like, I don't like it anymore, and come back. You could say the full 2 years. You can say longer than 2 years if you manage to get another work permit or a sponsorship. There are so many options for you. So if Canada is calling out to you, or if a ski season is calling out to you, or a working holiday, like listen to that feeling and honestly go for it. If you have any more questions, feel free to drop them in the comment box below. Make sure you subscribe, and I have my ebook on sale. That's in the description if you want to check that out. That's got everything you need step by step on how to get your IAC visa and move over to Canada. I really appreciate you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.